All right, Charmed, I see what you did there. Yeah, I mean, we didn't want to have to wait for Frozen 3, so Mel is now Elsa. Good job. Hi guys, my name is Maria Park and this is Approach the Nerd. And this episode we are carrying over from our episode 8 mid-season finale review to talk about kind of the theory slash maybe rant, maybe opinion on what we learned about Mel and Maggie's powers, and also talk a little bit more about Hasty because we need to, especially with Habby. I don't know what to call him. Like Abigail and Harry together. I just call him Habby. I don't know. It's gross. So let's start with the elephant in the room, and that is the introduction of the new Black Amber infused abilities by Mel and Maggie. So let's start with Mel. Mel upsets me greatly. I love this show. I love the characters. I am an OG fan, but I love the reboot. I've never compared these two because I look at them as separate series. Having said that, the new showrunners have, for some reason, been pushing our girls more and more towards the direction of the original Charmed girls. I don't get it. It is very irritating, and I wish it would stop. So let's talk about Mel. Mel's original power was temporal manipulation. I mean, she was able to slow down time. She was able to speed up time. She could accelerate the age of things, decelerate the age of things. She was the definition, the true definition of a time witch. And they have taken that and ripped it all apart, even down to the bracelet, the time bracelet, and the 2 daggers that her mother left her, the ones that allowed her physically to move through time, like either very quickly or very slowly, and completely retconned it when their auras were erased and their powers were taken. And what does she get back in return from the Black Ember? She gets molecular manipulation, which is kind of like Piper. Actually, I think she had molecular, she had the ability to actually manipulate molecules. So I guess inhibition? I don't know. I don't know what the technical term would be, but she could slow down the molecules in the person to the point where even though they're still moving, they're moving very slowly. So it doesn't look like they're moving at all, but they are essentially still moving. Piper was not a time witch. Mel was a time witch. She affected the time and space around a person or an object, not the object in person. So that is awesome. She had very cool powers. And now she's basically manipulating the molecules around an object or a person to the point where they, at this point, I guess, freeze. And I don't, that's her only power. I know there was water coming from like the ceiling because there was a fire or whatever, the fire alarm system when Macy put her hand up to start the fire alarm system, and the sprinkler started. So it could have been the sprinkler water froze because of the object, or basically because she manipulated the molecules to freeze him. But she's not Elsa. We have an Elsa that's in Frozen. We have an Iceman. We have every other comic book character. I have a long list of comic book characters that can use ice, like, Killer Frost, Ice from DC, from the Justice League. I mean, there's so many different characters that can use ice powers. Mel does not need to have ice powers. We are not doing Captain Planet. We don't need fire. We don't need water. We don't need any of that stuff. This is Charmed. Why did they take her coolest power away from her? I am so annoyed by this. I'm sorry. It annoys me. And then we have Maggie. Maggie was an empath who also had empath telepathy. If she touched you, she could read your mind. She could feel your feelings. She had, to a point where she could even do it with spirits. You didn't even have to be alive. She could do it with spirits. She almost had medium abilities of being able to take on spirits. And she had I think it was called an empath staff, if I remember correctly, empathic staff, that allowed her to take all of that emotion and supercharge it through her ability, like a force push, and attack people with it. And what does she have now? Foresight. She has the basic power that Phoebe started with in the first flipping season of Charmed. What in the beep is going on, Charmed? I am super annoyed. It's why I did not include this in my review video, because I actually wanted to have a positive review video, because this was going to be more of a rant. I am super annoyed by the showrunners in the writer's room right now with this choice, because what they're actually doing is they are making both Mel and Maggie essentially Piper and Phoebe, and I don't like it. Because the idea was to have a different show. You cannot go to interviews and conventions and say time and time and time and time again and say, oh, we are different, we are our own show, blah, blah, blah. And then you continuously do the same stuff that's happened in the OG Charmed. That doesn't make sense. So that is my rant. Again, I love the series. This is not me hating on the series. I love the actresses. I love the sisters. I just don't agree with a lot of the choices that have been made this season. The reason I think it's so easy for all of us to come up with theories is because we think about just how would they go about doing this in this guise of what they shouldn't do, and then those theories normally come true. So I'm just saying. And then there's Hasey, Habby, and JC. So the kiss. Like, literally when I saw that, I was like, oh, it's a CW. It's what they do. It seems to be a model. If you actually start watching other CW shows, at some point, one of the main characters is going to kiss somebody else, and somebody else is going to walk in and see it. Or that main person that they're in love with is going to walk in and see it. It is for drama. Now, was Harry receptive? It looked that way. Theory. Did Abigail cast a spell on Harry to make it look like he wanted it? When she was in his head, few episodes back when they were trying to find Macy and he was facing his past, did she do something and implant herself or her essence in his brain where he craves her now? Possibly. He's also a man. So, I mean, somebody I think actually in the comments said they thought that it was all a spell, and it could be. It very well could be a spell. She even made that comment at the end about, with the magic line at the end. I don't know. It is very possible, because Abby is trash and she will do anything to get what she wants. Even the very last thing she says, how she doesn't have everything she wants yet. That could have been Harry. It could have been anything. We don't know. So I am not excited or happy with this. Macy finally getting the courage to run to Harry, that was interesting. I would have loved to have seen how that scene would have played out had she been given the chance to have the talk with him. Even with Piper and Leo, it did take a while for them to get to the point where they were boyfriend and girlfriend and engaged and married, and even their marriage was turbulent because of the elders. But they don't have that drama. The elders are dead. So they have to create drama now because they don't have the obstacles that Piper and Leo had. So the obstacles now are either Harry's libido or Abigail casting a spell on Harry. And then there's the dark lighter, Jamie. He's Harry. I mean, he's essentially the same character. So it's like he's a dark version of the same man. If Macy is attracted to Jamie, then she's attracted to Harry, because they are the same person. When they merge, they will be the same person. They are going to merge. That's it. There's no other way that they can do this unless the writers, like what they're doing with their powers, are just completely, they're idiotic. So they are going to merge. And then Macy is going to have Harry all to herself, because Jamie still has the hots for Macy, no matter what White Lighter Harry is doing with Abigail. And Abby is just trash. And in the CW, whenever anyone's doing something, I mean, I don't care if you're the antagonist or not, you don't get away with it forever. There seems to be a clock on a plot. I mean, take like shows like Batwoman. We knew about, Batwoman's twin sister being Alice by the second episode. Technically by the end of the first episode, the pilot episode, because they don't draw things out in CW. I guess they don't have the budget for it. I don't know. It's weird. So it's going to resolve itself rather quickly. It is. But it's just so frustrating to see Harry falling for this crap with this woman when he knows she's trash. She is trash. Oh my gosh. It is so hard to watch. So yeah. Mid-season finale is not my favorite episode of this season. And there have been a few things I've kind of been like, because I really love the dynamic. I really love Macy and Mel finding their way as sisters, and they don't do it enough, and it irritates me. I mean, yes, Maggie and Macy, they kind of have a bond because they found out they're full sisters. So, I mean, and plus Maggie accepted her from the jump, but Mel was a little bit, less trusting, which I get. She's been the older sister for a long time until Macy comes around. Now she's the big sister. But I mean, Macy and Mel, their dynamic is very interesting, and I want them to bond more, but they have these separate missions all the flipping time, so it's hard. So the sisterhood is very cute. When it happens, it's just this, it needs to happen more. So that's some feedback to the writer's room that will probably never watch this video, but it's very frustrating. But yeah, I'm not happy with the powers. I'm not happy with Hasty. I'm not happy with Habby at all. And even with JC, it's all hard. So theories, we have lots of theories on what could be happening with Mel's, well, technically it's Mel's father. Santiago, if that's his name, Santiago, I guess it's Vera. There are a lot of theories with him. A lot of people think he's a warlock. I read somewhere on a board when the preview first aired, I think it was the trailer board, that they thought he was a witch hunter, which, I mean, that could be. He could be a private investigator. He could be somebody normal. He could be working for the government, undercover. We don't know. There's a reason he left. I don't think we know the full story, because when we look at the OG charm, and the reason I'm saying that is because they seem to be pulling from the OG charm more and more in the second season. The father left because the mother cheated on him. So Mel's father could have actually left because he knew that Marisol was still in love with Macy's dad, or Macy and Maggie's dad, because she didn't leave him by choice. It was the curse. She couldn't be around baby Macy or she would die. So they couldn't be together. But we know they were hooking up because then Maggie wouldn't be there. So how do we know that Maggie's conception was not the real reason that Santiago left town? Because think about it. He was also taking care of Maggie, and that was not his kid. I'm just saying. So I think Marisol had a lot more to do with what happened with that marriage than the girls know. So I think a lot's going to come to light, and if the writer's room if they're doing it correctly, and they think that we're all very intelligent people, which we are, they will flesh out Santiago's character so he has more dimensions to him than the one-tone deadbeat dad, because I don't think that's what actually happened. So that's my theory on that. I think Santiago has a lot more to say about Marisol than they probably are going to be comfortable in hearing. And his faking his death, I think that's going to be a very interesting reason as well. It's something he knows. Somebody's after him. I think he knows about the magical world. He could be a part of the magical world. We don't know. But we're going to find out in January. In January, I think, was it 15th? When the premiere, there seems to be a lot going on with Hasty too. I don't want to speculate because it kind of looks like Macy's going to confront him about Abigail, but I'm not 100% on that. But if the CW stays canon to what they normally do on their timeline, that's what's going to happen. So we may have a very interesting episode, or at least first 2 episodes of the second half of the season coming up starting in January. So I am super excited. I know you guys are too. But I want to know what you think. Please leave your comments below. I want to know if you like this power change now. The downgrade, I guess, is a good way of saying, in powers that Mel and Maggie have. Are we going to get new powers from Macy, or is she still going to be a demon with just throwing fireballs, or have demon side? Is that the only power she's going to have? Or is she going to have one where she can teleport things in fire, like, how Paige was able to teleport or using her telekinesis, using orbs, white lighter orbs? Is she going to be able to use fireball orbs to teleport objects to her in fire now? I mean, God knows. It's so frustrating. But I want to know your opinion on that. And also, what is your opinion on the wonderful couple triangles we got going on here? Multiple triangles, actually. It can go a lot of different ways. And what do you think is going on with Santiago? Do you think he was really a deadbeat dad? What do you think? Why do you think he's hiding? What do you think he's back for? How did they find him? So many theories for starting in January, and I would love to know what you think. So yeah, leave me a comment below and let me know. And if you would like to sign up for jury duty, hit the subscribe button. And if you'd like to know who's next on the nerd ballot, hit the notification bell. Until next time, I can't wait for you to approach the nerd. Bye, guys.
And if you have time, don't forget to check out some of these other videos.